Moraney.
Deputy Speaker.
Sorry.
I'd like to give a brief contribution to report number 38, Vaping and Inquiry into Reduced Rates of E-cigarettes Use in Queensland. I'd like to thank the committee and the Secretariat for all the good work that they've done as we travelled over the state to face this issue. It's a very grave problem in our schools. I'd like to thank the Chair and also the committee members for using the Queensland Government labs to look into the breakdown and what the chemical composition of some of these vapes are. There's an alarming amount of different chemicals, pesticides and also nicotine rates that vary. We can't express enough that these things are dangerous and poison. Vaping devices pose at least 3 threats for our environment. There are more than 250,000 Queenslanders that are vaping regularly that we know of. There's more than 100 tonnes of e-waste is generated annually by Queensland vapers as well. That's not just count the stuff that's coming in illegally. Existing e-waste programs do not accept vaping devices. These things catch fire. It's easy for kids to use them. They don't have to take lighters. They don't have smokes. They just can get them out, go into a toilet cubicle, basically start pulling on these things, pulling poisons, nicotine, pesticides of all descriptions, of all different varying percentages into their body. They get a head rush and they think it's great. Well, unfortunately, it's killing them. We have a lot of people that have told us that the sickness that comes out of it, they've stopped vaping because of the fact that, the way that it actually affects their body, it affects and harms their whole system. There is legal ways of being able to vape. We looked into that. Many of the submitters, and we thank all the witnesses that came in, talked about how they could actually access legal vapes and legal nicotine to put in these vapes. And it does have certain merit in certain ways in the legality of being able to stop smoking. There's no question about it. But the vapes that we were concentrating on was the pretty little vapes that have all the colours and all the different flavours that are out there basically to entice young children. It's an illicit black market. It's earning millions and millions of dollars. It's putting actual businesses out of business. It also has a situation where the government of both state and federal do not collect tax on it. So we had to get back and have a look at it. We've done a great job. I think that, we need to implement national disposal schemes for that, but I don't think we should have them at all personally. What we found was that these things are just coming in from all over and we can't control it. And having no legislation or having no way of being able to tax it and regulate it was a difficult thing as well because it just run rife in our community. I know all my children talk about vapes all the time. I've got one of my eldest daughters, she's got her boyfriend he vapes all the time. Now he's given it up. He can't even hardly breathe from it, Deputy Chair. It's a very dangerous substance. So all I'd like to say is thank you for everyone that got in it. I support the bill and the way it's being put down. The faster we get rid of vapes in Queensland, the better, and the faster we, actually make it legal, that league shops become legal. All these pop-up shops everywhere, they're even in Tarina and near my office, they're all over the place. The government needs to do more about actually shutting them down. And another thing I found that was very, very confronting was a legal chop shop. You needed to have 90 kilos of chop shop to actually be outside of the law. So you could go into the back of a shop, there's a 60-kilo bin of chop shop, no one could even go there and take it away or basically confiscate it because the law actually states that it had to be over 90 kilos before they could actually confiscate it. Blew me away. That's a heck of a lot of tobacco, especially when you've got a little pouch of tobacco like that. You imagine how many 90-kilo pouches. So the authorities had to leave it. So there was a lot of things that we discovered. There was a lot of things that really, blew our mind as far as the crime, the organised crime that backs these things, the way that the shops were popping up, how much they could actually sell, the way they were selling it, how it's so cheap to buy. It just literally focuses on children, and we don't want to see that in our health system going forward. We don't need the problems. We've got enough problems with our health system now. Hopefully we could get out there. The message needs to be said. I know that the teachers in all the schools, some of them, most of them, are doing the right thing. Obviously, we've seen some stuff in the paper recently that blew our minds away, but the situation is we're on top of it, we know about it, and thankfully we're putting legislation in place. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.